Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday Night Live No Life Beekeepers chat and the No Life Beekeepers podcast. So, if you haven't heard, immediately after the stream that streamed on Walker Bee Ranch YouTube channel, we will be uploading this to Spotify. It's available on Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartMusic. So, little thing we're doing is I believe there's 3 episodes up there now, and this will be number 4 because I didn't want to go back and upload 5 years worth of live stream audio. So we just are moving forward from here. It's another step going forward. Hopefully everyone's doing well. And if you don't mind, as you're coming in, hit that thumbs up button, sting that like. And, we'll see what we can get into topic-wise tonight. This obviously is a community-driven live stream, so we offer guests the opportunity to come in and hang out with us live on the screen and to, share their beekeeping journeys as well. So what's happening in the world of Walker Bee Ranch? So last week, I did get queens, I believe, on Thursday. 15 of them. I requeened some colonies and I made several splits. Like I moved 8 splits out to my 1 bee yard here close by, and 1 split to my Lexington bee yard, and requeened several splits here in this yard. And then I made 3 more splits yesterday that are queenless. So we're going to see if we can get some walkaways done on those. And good to see everyone. We got Grayson, Mike Tengway. We got Brian from Flower Street. Good to see you. Today ended up being a good day. For a Tuesday, I was highly surprised. Final numbers for today ended up at, I can tell you exactly. Hold on. Don't want to guess. No guesstimates here tonight. We ended up $565 at the table today, which is about 56.5 pounds. So a 5-gallon pail, right? Roughly today. So that was pretty good. Pretty good for a Tuesday. It was actually, today ended up being better than both Saturday and Sunday combined this week because of the weather. Saturday was just really hot, and Sunday was a bit cooler, but it was overcast all day. And here in South Carolina, people just don't get out like that. Hey, Eddie, good to see you. Country Road Bees, good to see you. So still got a bunch of people coming in, and appreciate it. If you didn't catch it right at the beginning, all of these No Life Beekeeper chats are being uploaded to Spotify and iHeartMusic and Amazon Music for podcast listening after the fact. So if you're on any of those, if you wouldn't mind giving us a follow over there, we'd appreciate it. Help expanding our network after, 4 or 5 years of doing this. It's nice to have get as many people as we can over to the channels. So just trying to grow things. And if you don't mind stinging that thumbs up button, we appreciate that. And hopefully, I know Brad will not be with us tonight. Brad has a local meeting to go to, but anybody else wanting to click the link and come on in, we welcome it, and we'll get some chats going on. So what has everybody got going on out there? Are they, I started doing some summer splits, right? Plenty of honey still on the colony I need to pull, but I'm doing my splits before that, so I make sure, and this may be bad, making sure I've got enough honey stores for my splits, right? That I'm not just making splits after I've harvested all the honey. So I am sacrificing some of my harvest for the splits, but if it makes the splits better and they survive through the winter and we do have a successful expansion, it'll be great. We came out of Oh, winter. What did we come out of? I think we had 13 or 15 colonies, and I'm at 46 right now. So we're going to count that blessing, and hopefully we can, keep things going in the right direction. Let's see. Country Road Bees picked up 3 nukes after all the live chats talking about what they should look like. I figured I'd go buy some and show people the good and the bad. That's right. Jeff, making your 3rd graft soon. You having good success? I have good success for the most part with my grafting. My issues are getting the queens to come back mated. That's where I have the issues there. So, other than that, everything is going pretty good this year. I can't complain. I have got. Sorry, my grandson decided he wanted to try to FaceTime me right in the middle of this. My 3-year-old grandson has not gotten the memo that Tuesday nights are Peepaw's live stream nights. So let me turn my phone down and make sure it doesn't go off during the chat. But yeah, today was a very successful day out in the bee yard, or not in the bee yard, but at the honey table. So it was very much unexpected, welcomed but unexpected. So that took some peer pressure because I was doing every day, and then I got lazy. The weather got bad, whatever you want to call it. Didn't feel like going out there every day, and boy, was I wrong. I should just old Brad kicked me in the behind and told me I needed to go ahead and get out there and keep pushing. So I did, and it reaped a good reward today. Thank you. I see someone sent a gift in the chat, and I appreciate that. I didn't see it on the live stream, but I saw it pop up in the YouTube comments over there. First time you are actually the first person to ever do that. So thank you for the goat trophy. Appreciate that. Let me I'll put a heart on that. The Lord loves a working man for sure. So anybody that's out there that's available to come on into the chat, come on in, and we'll strike up some conversations. It's a little bit challenging talking to the chat box, but I can do it for a little while. Hope everybody's doing good and having a good time. We're actually expected to have a little bit cooler weather. Oh my goodness. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Brad, that bee man is. Yeah, you're right, man. I have to bow down. You are correct. And you know what I find out about Brad?
No.
Brad is correct more than he's not. When it comes to me, when it comes to tell me about my
I'll get my wife. I want you to tell her that.
It's
never mind.
It is funny because oftentimes Brad and I have discussions, and we're talking. He's like, "Yeah, but here I am telling you how to run your business, right?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I don't take any offense, right?" With friends, sometimes I think we can be a little more callous, and it just kind of washes off our back, right? Because if a friend can't tell you you're screwing something up, then who can, right? I'd much rather hear from a friend than somebody I don't like, right?
and you're right. You talk to friends, and everybody knows that what you say in love, even though when you say, stop being a dumbass or something like that, it's you say things because you care about them and whatnot. It's not just all blowing sunshine up everybody's butt all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Comes a time to get a little tougher.
Tough love.
But I'm so glad that this turned out for you, and no, don't be bound down or anything like that, because
it was so the day started off wonky to begin with, right? So I go out and set up the table. The first order is $120 worth of honey.
Well, welcome to the day.
Yeah, and I was like, hello. And then I went in because I had 5 3-pound bottles there. And it sells, but not always is it the fastest. Usually 1 pound or a pint jar or something like that. And it left me with 1. So I went in and bottled 5 more. So I had a nice even 6 on the table. And then as soon as I did the live stream this afternoon, it started to rain and we packed everything up, and it's raining. I just put everything in a truck. Somebody stops in the road and says, "You still have honey?" Yeah, I've still got some honey. So he came and bought a jar. And then I get inside and my wife brings me a plate of dinner and I'm eating, and somebody comes and buys my last 3 3-pounders from the day. So, I mean, yeah, I sold 10 3-pound bottles today, and then a bunch of other stuff, obviously, but it was kind of crazy. It was not expected at all. And then, of course, guess what you get to do after that, right? You put your plate down, you realize, oh, I don't have any of these. Then I got to go bottle more honey.
Go bottle honey.
That's it. So
good problems to have, right? Well, I spent the day trying to keep up to these bees. Holy cow, are they ever kicking my butt? They're just going gangbusters.
Yes,
they're packing the whole thing out. So I transferred some of those 6s into 20 frames.
Yeah, so the other day when we were talking, and it's probably been the weekend maybe, and you had just made splits and made some nukes, and you're like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to have the resources for some of these. And you said, but the weather's turning nicer, and we've got a bunch of dandelions, right?
Yep.
So the switch must have turned on, and that queen just must start dropping eggs everywhere.
Yeah, well, they're laying good, but I should have been on it a little faster because they're packed out and they got nowhere to lay. So I'm surprised. I'll be surprised if I don't have swarm problems. But because those frames are either full of nectar or full of pollen, they're packed right out full of pollen. Incredible.
I had to do that too. I had a double 6-frame nuke, and I had put a 5-frame on top of it, a wooden box, and I'm like, that should give them some time. Oh no, I went out there yesterday and that box was right full of honey, right? So they went into a double 10-frame yesterday. Just because I know the people watching on YouTube know who you are, but now that we're a podcast as well, could you please, Brad, introduce yourself and where you're at and the name of your apiary and all the good stuff that people can't see the stream will know you.
Sure, absolutely. So, Brad Hogg. I am known as that bee man at Faith Apiaries on YouTube, and I keep bees in the longitudinal center of Canada. I'm right in the middle. I'm only about 90 miles north of the Canada-U.S. border, so that puts me northeast of Winnipeg.
In the province of Manitoba.
In Manitoba. So that's me.
And if you hear
this is my 11th season. Yeah, that's my big kitty cat here. He's got to have his cuddles while I sit here on the computer. My big 95-year-old people years cat.
And you said this is your 11th year beekeeping.
11th year, yeah.
And
so I'm only trying this 11 times.
What is your high watermark for colonies? Not what you're current running, but what is the maximum colonies that you have had at your apiaries?
100 and I don't know, 180, maybe 190. Yeah, I never got to 200. I got up there and I said, nope, that's too many.
It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
I know I've let you in on it, and I dropped a little hint about a video I'm going to be trying to put together tomorrow. But, I had to buy a new bead jacket.
Yep.
Because speaking of a lot of work, the wear and tear on a bee jacket, you know, between sweat and snagging it on stuff and everything else that can happen
They
to it.
take
I
a beating.
ordered a new one. They take a big beating. And I don't know if you've looked lately, but it's hard to find a bee jacket that's not about $150. And I have bought, oh my goodness, being my 7th year, I will say without a doubt, I've probably been through 7 bee suits, bee jackets. I have one full suit, but bee jackets, um, and so I went a little different this time, and I didn't go expensive. I figure if an expensive one's only going to last me, I mean, I've had Guardian jackets. One season I went through 2 Guardian jackets, and for what it's worth, it doesn't matter if it's been Guardian or any other brand that I've had. They just don't last that long for me for whatever reason. I like to rub stuff on my big fat belly when I'm picking it up and, whatever. But typically it's the zippers, the zippers and things like that tend to break on them. So I have what looks good on the computer screen, but tomorrow when I get it, I'll do a review, and if it's worth it, or if it's in good condition and it is quality seeming, then I will let people know that, because it's about half the price of all the other jackets that I saw online. So it's at this point, with me going through them so quick, I just don't see why I would buy a $150, $60, $70 jacket if I can buy a brand new one every year, which I'm having to do anyway for half the price. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, if it lasts, for that period, if you get a season out of it, then why not, really?
So yeah, so that's what I'm looking at. It looks pretty quality online. So we'll see what it looks like when it gets here. Those things can change. Main thing, the veil for me is that it's not that real thin mesh that gets snagged on something and then rips a hole in it, and then stuff like that. But my last jacket, when you zipped it, the zipper would come over, but it would unzip, like the zipper just was broke or wore out or something. So time for a new one.
I think today, I just wear that veil with the strings. I put the strings under my arms, and one of the strings broke.
I have to wear that honey table.
So I'm working away with this broken string, and of course it's not holding the mesh part down to my shoulders, and I'm getting bees up in my veil. There's bees walking around on my face, and there's bees buzzing behind my head. And
I got a sting right here yesterday.
And I never did get stung.
Yeah, that's not.
I mean, I got stung today, but not in the head. It was just bees. I had to go in my building to get the bees out of my bonnet.
I took 2 on the hand and 1 on the head yesterday with a jacket on. I do have a full suit, and it's great. It's a great high quality suit, but I don't care how vented it is when it's 90 to 100 degrees
outside. One-man greenhouse.
You just can't stay out there. You just get smoked every time. Every time I go out there, just drenched through. And matter of fact, it made me cut my hair because my hair was so sweaty yesterday after taking that suit off that I looked like I just played a basketball game or something. But so you have a meeting tonight. I know you have to go to.
I do have a meeting tonight in about 10 minutes. Yeah, it was. It got up to 30C here today, and what did I say? That was 86 F.
I want to put a plug out for you because I know, and you may not want to know, but if you are in Brad's neck of the woods, and you know who you are in the chat, Brad is holding a queen rearing seminar. When, this weekend?
Yeah, just a little workshop. Yeah, well, hopefully Saturday. Sunday is rain date, but yeah.
Let me see. Eric says he's going out to work on his electric fence on Thursday and was debating just about wearing a veil. No, I'm not ready for that yet. And if you're putting up a bear fence, Eric, Brad put out a great video this weekend about his bear fence and the proper sizing and whatnot on that.
I worked on my fence a little bit today. I got some new insulators I put in.
Hey, Keith, good to see you. So Brad will be leaving us soon. I wonder if Big Mike or somebody's going to join in tonight as well.
But so tonight is what I call the novice session. I've been doing these for years now with the association I'm with, and we just get on Zoom, talk about the next 60 days of management and what you can expect in your apiary. There's no program, there's no script, there's no agenda. It's
Kind of
just a
like
conversation.
the show.
Yeah, it's a lot like this show. And so I invite some experienced beekeepers from our association to join, so that we'll have a well-rounded conversation with with the novices, because I always caveat, I do not consider myself an expert.
Well, I think
I'm kind of
whenever
a moderate, a medium experienced beekeeper, but certainly not an expert.
Well, I think whenever you take that stance that, oh, well, I know how to do this and I know how to do that and I know this and I know that, boy, does it ever leave you wide open for collapse, right? I feel like if you're too afraid to ask a question about something, then you just kind of leave yourself open for downfall, right? I mean, am I saying everything Brad tells me I do? Well, no, I don't. But if I have a question, you have to ask it, right? I mean, if you sit there, if you don't ask it, you never know.
It's all about humility,
Well,
I will speak authoritatively on things that I am absolutely certain of, really, but there's not very many things like that.
well, I've got two people in the waiting room here. One is James driving down the road, and one's a fella named Sam that has no camera on. And the rule is, if I can't see you on the camera, you don't get put in, and that's kind of how it is. If you we've had too many instances here of people that weren't even beekeepers just hopping in and not having anything to say to contribute to the conversation, and we've had some very bad things that happen. So since I don't see a camera, I'm going to go ahead and remove Stam from the room here, and I'm going to bring in James riding down the road. So hopefully for podcasters, there's not a whole bunch of background noise, but we shall see.
How much noise?
Just the sound of your voice.
Just some irritating screech coming through the microphone.
I couldn't resist, man. I could not resist that one.
Well, it's a humble voice, to kind of tune into what you guys were talking about. Is boy, do I know that humble experience from last year. Went from, well, basically lost all my hives except for one. So, exactly what you guys were talking about. You think you've got her figured out. The bees are going to teach you something different for sure every time.
Well, oddly enough, and this is unusual for me. I know I told Brad about it, but I had I got matched up with a mentee from Highs for Hero, my second this year, and I messaged him, and the guy responded back, I'm out of town. I can't, come over this weekend. However, I've been keeping bees for 10 years. He's been keeping bees longer than I have. And now he's my mentee. He says he can't keep his bees alive longer than 2.5 years. So, so I'm going to be looking for answers to his questions, right? I'm I mean, he's been keeping them longer than me. Why is he having issues? I mean, yeah, I feel like every year I'm going to lose a percentage, and that's already built into my plan, right? So like this year, I'm prepping for losing the loss of colonies. So I'm making summer splits to hopefully grow enough to where the percentage that I lose is absorbed by my growth. Does that make sense?
Well, kind
Maybe.
of. It could be his management technique too, though. I mean, you know, maybe it's hard to say, but I mean, from just what you told me so far, does he knock down supersedure cells? Does does he replace his queen? There's lots of questions you'd have to look at and understand what that management technique is before you could make an assumption, or a guesstimate, really, because there's so many variables that who knows what it could be. What are your thoughts, Brad?
My thoughts as I was distracted by a message. So I'll be upfront with that. Sorry. There was a guy trying to arrange something with me today, and he's sending me stuff.
Yeah,
So-
like I said, there's so many things that who knows, right?
Yeah, there's so many variables. I was having that conversation with Ian the other day, and it's just that there's so many variables, and some of them you can control, and we can control and address the ones we can, and there's so many variables we know about that we can't control, weather, right?
Right.
And then there's so many variables that we're totally unaware of. So, if you take variables, a percentage of the variables that you can keep under control or have a chance to address and control as a percentage of the variables that exist, it's probably 0.1%
Right.
or something like that. So it's almost a losing battle. It's sad to say.
Yeah.
I see it
It's
7:27.
like,
I need to duck out so that I
Okay,
can
great.
get the other meeting going. And I
All
wish
right.
I could stop in. Nice to see you, Mike. And
Hey, Brad.
James, introduce yourselves for the
absolutely.
podcast and
Yep.
have a really great live show tonight.
All right. Thanks,
I'm gonna
Brad. Thanks for stopping
take
in.
my exit. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Right.
All right. So, James, you came in first. Since this is also going to be on Spotify, iHeartMusic, and Amazon as a podcast available after the stream, could you please introduce yourself and where you're from and a little bit about your operation?
Well, I can. So my name is James McNally. I'm known as the Old McNally's Honey, and I run my apiaries and honey business out of northern Alberta. So a little place just kind of called Grand Prairie. So right on the cusp of the Rocky Mountains. And needs to say, I got a very short beekeeping season up here. Let's see, how long have I been keeping bees? Probably, you can actually go out and see it on my YouTube channel. So Old McNally's Honey, might be able to find it under James McNally Bees as well. But I think I'm going on my 6th or 7th year here now.
So, what was your high water mark for colonies that you've had?
My high water mark? I think the most colonies at any time. Well, I haven't counted them this year, so I am out of equipment this year already. But not last year, year before, I think we hit 238 colonies, I think, something like that. And we're north of that number this year.
So 300-ish.
Give or take.
Okay. And Big Mike, good to see you tonight.
Good to see you guys.
Big Mike's Honey, where you give us the same thing on your operation there, Mike.
I'm located in southern New Hampshire.
And high water. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think I was around 230 with my nukes last year. I don't really know. I'm out of control this year.
Out of control. All right. Hey, Mr. Sam has come with his camera here, and I'm gonna add him in. So give us a second here. Hey, Sam, how are you doing? Evidently, he's gone already. So maybe he'll try back. So, what do you guys have going on right now? What are you? I know James looks like he's heading to the bee yard right now.
I am. I got actually I'm heading out here. I will be pulling queens out of the finisher hive here tonight. So we've been busy to say the least. So we've got just about all of our mating nukes filled, all of our battery boxes. So anybody on the podcast wants to know what a battery is, go check out Ian Stepler. So working under Ian's guidance there a little bit, we built up our battery. And to give you an idea, our battery this year, we try to keep it around 10%. And our battery is 44 hives right now, or 45 6-frame. Can't even call them a nuke because they are producing honey. So I guess 44 6-frame hives.
With deep boxes over them for honey.
Correct. And that'll be roughly about 10% where we're shooting to put in the barn this year. So, and as far as queens, I think we're on our fourth round of queens, and each round of queens we've been producing anywhere between 22 to, no, I guess it'd be 22 per bar, so 44 to 88 queens per round of grafting. So, and we're on our third round here right now. So things are busy.
Are you you're still doing the AI, or have you just been dabbling with it, or?
Just been dabbling into that now. So that's something that we're working on. I would say a long ways to go before I perfect it, but just kind of dabbling with that there right now. That'll probably be something that once we get all the honey boxes on, which we'll be doing probably in the next day or two, sticking another honey box on every one of them. So a bunch of them are going to be moving to thirds already. So things are starting to come in. Of course, our solstice here doesn't happen until about June. I think it's June 23rd, June 18th, something like that this year. Haven't looked at the calendar in a while, but and that's when our flow really seems to start up here. So,
well, Brad said, earlier this week, and I know you and Brad are quite a distance away from each other. Like drive is 20 hours, something like that.
Well, the way I go, it's about 18 and a half hours. Yeah.
So, Brad was noticing a lag due to the weather as far as his bees getting started, right? They were just a little slow out of the gate. And he said the weather warmed up and he went back out and they were just laid slap up with the dandelion. So it just turned on like that,
Yeah, we haven't had that problem here. I'm just going to take you with me as I go and open a gate, but we haven't had that problem here.
Uh-oh, it's cutting out. Yeah, he totally cut out. We can't hear his audio. But he's talking. He is talking up a storm. We just don't know what he's saying. What do you do, right, Mike?
I have no idea.
This is when we need the lip reader that can sign in the bottom corner of the stream. Oh, now we can hear you. Get back in the car and we can hear you. We couldn't hear you the whole time you were talking.
Oh, it was still stuck on my truck. So sorry about that. But what are you going to do? Now it's going to do it again when I close it. But I'll finish what I was talking before I go. So we've had a really good season up here. So we were probably ready to split most of our hives about the third week of April. So they came out of the barn already with most of them 4 to 6 frames of cap brood. So there's a few things that I've been dabbling with to make that happen. But yeah, we've probably split our hives 3 times already this year. So you know, we've been very fortunate. We've been getting not a lot of rain, but we've been getting enough rain so that we've had a really good dandelion crop. But of course, we've had better weather than Manitoba, but right now in Alberta is something that we kind of got to watch. The last few years have been an incredible fire season, and we haven't had rain for a while. It's actually forecasted to rain every day for the next week, which would be absolutely awesome because that would be perfect timing for the solstice flow. But yeah, we're kind of watching that closely. So we're set up to be really good right now, but it could go sideways very, very quickly and very, very easy. So crossing our fingers.
What do you have on the agenda for the bee yard this evening?
So pulling queens. So I'm going to be pulling 1 frame of queens. So and actually we could probably do it on here if you wanted. I haven't looked at them since we put them in the starter finisher, since I grafted them. There is 21 cells on one bar and 20 on the other. So we could have 40 up to 41 queens. So I've been averaging about 86 to 90% take so far. So watch. Now that I said that, and remember what we were talking about earlier, it'll humble you. I'll go pull that and we'll find out that I got a virgin queen or something in there. I got 0, but we can pull it on the camera here if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll give you time to get your jacket on. Oh, you don't use those things, jackets and gloves and, and that type of thing.
Well, I probably will dig it out tonight. So I always wear a jacket. I don't wear used gloves or stuff, but I probably will tonight simply because it's overcast. It's 19 degrees, but it's not exactly the nicest. And usually, especially when you get into a hive with that many bees, you start poking around in there when it's overcast and a little bit of a chilly breeze. They get a little owly there. So
I wouldn't know anything about those kind of bees. You know, mine are so gentle.
Oh, no, not you. All right, I'm just going to jump out, close the gate, and then we'll go on up to the apiary.
All right. Big Mike, what have you been doing, brother?
I made 26 mating newts tonight.
2 frame, 3 frame?
Mini matings, they're 4
mini
frames.
ones?
All my mini mating newt, my overwintered ones are 10 frame deeps high right now. I just break them down and
wait a minute, say that one more time. All of your what are 4 deeps?
I overwinter them in the boxes.
Oh, okay.
I take out the divider and then I stack supers on. Well, brood boxes. Right now they're 4 brood boxes deep, and they're starting to swarm.
So they come up there. Are they coming up like through the tree and laying them up, and then you just pull the brood out of them, or
brood, honey? Yeah, I made 26 of them tonight. I went through 3 hives.
That sounds like, you know what? I have a development for you. So that mean hive that I broke down,
yeah,
all the way to nothing. I mean, when I say nothing, it was a box on a bottom board and straggler bees and foragers to come back after the splits, and I left them a new queen in a cage in there for the forager bees and the straggler bees in the box, and they took right to her, went on 1 frame, and they have released her, and she's actually started laying some eggs in there. So I went out to the out yard yesterday, which I had moved the pro nukes from my splits out there, and then I put them all in their 10 frame equipment yesterday, so they're ready to go. I should not have to mess with them anymore this season, right? The honey and stuff that they make and the bees that they make. Let me mute.
I'll mute you.
Okay. And they should be able to build that box out and lay it up, because there's still time before the flow ends, and hopefully put enough stores in that one box for the winter. And you know, which is odd because some of the last splits that I did that didn't have a queen, that I just gave a queen, they were kind of getting full of honey bound because the bees kept still working to bring in stores. There just was nothing laying eggs. So working a bit with that. But other than that, the bees are doing pretty good. Very few, I'm seeing very few hive beetles out there, which is a good sign. And we're just rolling with it this year. Hopefully still have I need about another 1,000 pounds of honey. So hopefully that comes through for us.
Yeah, I got 25 cells to put in them tomorrow.
So those are the ones you grafted recently?
Yeah, and I have another graft in. They should have been capped today.
So now, once you have your starter finisher and they've capped them, are you putting them into an incubator, or do you leave them or put a cage around them and let them hatch out?
The first round I did.
Okay.
So now, I can put a second round right in.
And then the second round, they'll go ahead and cap those, and you're going to move them to the incubator as well, or are you going to put like a roller cage over them or something like that and let them hatch right in the colony?
I haven't decided. I got to get through the next couple of days first.
Yeah, see, for me, I might make that up in my mind that I'm going to do this, and then I get out there and I do something entirely different by the time I get there. I've made a game time decision, right? And changed it up.
I went into one of my licensed poly hives I hadn't gotten into. You couldn't even see in it. It was...
Those things build up so good for me.
I opened it. They're the most chilled bees. So I ended up I pulled quite a few cells out of it. And I found the queen. I put her in a box. Well, found the queen. Then I lost her. Could not find her again because she wasn't marked. Put her in a box. Put another box. Put a bunch of bees in with it. Then I had 2 more nukes. I left a queen cell in the hive. I made 2 more nukes, and they had frames with multiple queen cells on them. And went up last night with my friend Gina, and we opened it up. I opened up the 5-frame nuke. I said, these are the most chilled bees. I opened that cover up. Not a bee flew out. I opened up all 3 of them. No bees flew out. They're just totally chilled.
I've got 3 nukes out there that I made in the same yard, right? I used a pro nuke. I locked them in, and I'm using the Brad method, right? So I did it yesterday afternoon. I left them locked up last night. They're locked up tonight, and I can either go out tonight after dark. Well, it is dark now. I could go out after the stream, or I can go out first thing in the morning and open them back up, and just trying to keep whatever foragers are in there, right? So we'll see if they still revert back to what they think home was, right? Or if they figure this is home now. So I'm testing that philosophy.
If they fly out too much, tomorrow switch them.
Yeah, switch them around.
And the foragers will fly back to the one you wanted them in.
Well, I'm banking right now with the queen replacements I've done and everything that within the next 3 weeks or so, the majority of those mean bees should be dead, right? Just from their normal pattern there.
Well, the ones that have hatched now will be dead. But then you'll have... Hey, Doug, how are you?
Good. Doing good, Mike.
It still takes me a minute when I look in you guys' living rooms and trucks and everything, and the daylight's still shining, and it's dark as night outside here.
Oh, yeah, it's black, yeah.
Yeah, we got about 3 hours of daylight left yet.
Still 3. Well, you are in Saskatchewan.
Yep.
What time is it there for you now?
Right now, 6:44.
You're 2 hours behind me. Okay, so you're the same as Brad is then behind me, a couple hours.
He's a 1 hour different from me.
And Saskatchewan doesn't change its time back and forth.
No.
I wish they would do that here and just keep the same schedule all the time, but they're going to change it again, I think. But what's going on in your world, Doug? How's things going for you?
Well, starting to get, looks like maybe spring or summer now.
Oh, really?
We've had a crap spring. We're about a month behind on everything.
Well, Brad was saying the same thing, and then within the last few days, that his queens just like turned on and just laid everything up. So,
well, right now, Bob, anything that can flower is flowering. Like normally we'll get be a flow of dandelion and then something else and something. Everything we got is flowering right now. Really strange.
well, two things. Are you going to be able to keep up keeping boxes on them? And are they going to be able to keep up? Because, I mean, their populations obviously have to grow to be able to grab all that nectar, right? So what are you anticipating is going to happen with your harvest?
I really don't know. We may have to go back to feeding bees. All of these flowers are going to come to an end right away.
And then you don't have anything
if we get
else.
Clover coming on, it might carry us still to not a thing. Not till canola.
And when's canola usually come in?
Well, it's going to be late year. People here are just really starting to seed the canola now. Normally it would be about mid-July. It'll probably be the end of July or close to the end of July when it's peaked this year.
And well, I mean, so I guess compared to a normal year, with the stuff that you're getting now, obviously canola granulates really, I guess, a lot. I don't know if there's another way to put it. Does the stuff that you're getting now, does it granulate less? I mean, does it not? I know you saw
this is all. Yeah, this is all wildflowers, so it stays pretty good in the hive.
Okay, so it's just a matter of making. Hopefully, the bees catch up with the flow. Can grow fast enough, right?
Well, they'll build up in a hurry right now with everything blooming anyway.
That's I was going in colonies and I still had slabs and slabs and slabs of brood, so I started making some splits to trying to grow the colonies. And it's a bit, I've never really split at this time of the year. I've split later, which has been kind of bad because it's been during a dearth, and I've split too early before the season, which has been hard. So this time of year is kind of a unique time for me to split that I haven't really done before. And I'm kind of banking on the fact that I still have about a month of flow for the bees to hatch and get established good. They're bringing in nectar and stuff if it's a walk away, they're able to raise a queen. Obviously I purchased some queens and made splits, so hopefully they can get ramped up and going. I know that the splits that I made last week, yesterday when I was out there moving them, I saw queens walking around, the newly installed queens walking around on the frames, and there was eggs. So it had to be hers. Couldn't have been nobody else's at that point, because everything that was an egg when I put them over there would have turned into larvae. And, so they're knock on wood, they're doing good right now. So hopefully they'll all take and everything will go as planned. Let me see.
Well, we've got a strange year. I've never seen anything like it. I was talking to Ian the other day, and he's saying the same thing. Never seen anything like this. So we'll take it as it comes, I guess.
It's all we can do, right? I mean, we were talking about that earlier on the stream about every year. It's a humbling situation one way or another, right? If you ever think you know everything about what's going on in the yard, you've lost before you started, because you can't do the same things at the same times every year and get the same results. It just doesn't work that way. You know, like for your, you know, weather has played a part in your season, which has made you have to adjust the way you do things. Same thing with my splits. Things have happened a little bit differently here. So, you know, everything's changing a little bit. So, yeah. So we're always on the adjustment schedule, right? Just trying to figure out every time we go out there, well, what's our next move? What's our next move? And we just do the best we can. All right, James has got his bee suit on here. Let's see what he's got going on. There he is.
They are a little owly tonight, just for the record.
Yeah, but I don't think, you know, mine come out carrying firearms and a bottle of Jack Daniels. So
how's that? Can you see the hive?
I can see the feeder bucket is what we can see, and your name.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see what we can do here. Look at them. They are definitely. I'm going to call these Bob's bees tonight.
What do you mean? That's just the greeting party. They're coming to give you a little kiss and tell you hello.
Yeah, they're a little persnickety tonight.
We'll put you up big so we can see what you got going on here. All right, few bees under the bucket there.
You can see that?
I cannot.
All right, let's see if I can tip you down or move you down a little bit here.
Now we see the. There you go. We can see the front edge of the colony. And we were just.
That's what I didn't want to happen.
There you go. We can see the feeder hole there.
Okay. So let's get into them.
All right. First comment I want to make. No smoker. Everybody gives me crap about not using a smoker, and I don't see one.
So why don't we want to use a smoker on this colony though?
Well, first of all, you don't want to hide. I don't know. I mean, I was going to give you some half-cocked answer, but go ahead and tell us.
So this is a starter finisher. This frame we're going to pull tonight. This frame here is the one that I grafted last night. I don't want to do anything in this hive that's going to interrupt them building those queen cells. So there's 20, 40, there's 41 possible cells on here. And I know on this one here, I had about a 92% take. So there's 20, 21 and 21. So there's almost 40 cells on that one. So I don't want to do anything in this hive that's going to interrupt them at all. And the smoker, of course, would do that.
So the fact that I'm not seeing any bees really on the top of that frame with the queen cells on it right now would tell me that they're probably capped and they've moved on to the other frame there.
You guys are going to find out same time I do here firsthand. So.
Well, the first row looks pretty good.
So the first row is 100% take. The second row, it looks like I've missed three of them.
So is that 38?
So let's just confirm this here. 4 of them. I missed 4 in the second row.
37. It's a pretty good looking frame there, James.
So just so that all your viewers can see there.
They even had time to build a little extra comb on there.
Well, today is day 10, so I don't know if you're still sharing that calculator I made, Bob.
Yeah, it's on the Facebook page.
So this is day 10 off of that calculator.
So now you're going to remove them to the incubator?
Exactly. So I'm going to move you guys over. I'm just going to close them up so that one is okay. Actually, I'm only going to pull one bar off of here for now. We'll deal with one at a time, just because it's a little cool. So this is the sensitive time of these cells. So we don't want to shake them or bump them or bang them or anything else.
Yeah, it looks like a really good graft you did there. And how many colonies do you have set up like that right now?
2.
Okay.
Let me see if I can tip you up here.
So about 160 queen cells between the two.
Yes.
So are you going to individually take the cells off and put them in the foam?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'll take, with these JZB cups, you give them a quarter turn and they come out, and very carefully put them in the foam. I'm going to show you something on the next cup here too, though. So by using these cups, can you see all the white in there? That's all royal jelly that you can see through there. So you know they're well fed. And we're just going to keep going here. Get you down where you can see it. Take one off. Bit of a quarter turn.
That's not the one I wanted.
And then in we go into the foam, and then from the foam back into the incubator.
And then you'll just grab.
Then I'll grab the other bar and repeat.
Now, normally, would this be the time you would graft your new bars?
What I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to refill this, and then I'm going to put it back in with blank cups and let them polish the cups for overnight, and then I'll graft it back into them tomorrow.
And rinse and repeat.
And rinse and repeat, yep.
And are you using the 4-way mini mating boxes?
Absolutely. I got some of them here. I'll show you that as soon as I get these cells back in the incubator. How's that sound?
Sounds like a plan. We get the full Canadian queen rearing experience.
Well,
and the only reason it's a Canadian queen rearing experience because it's happening in Canada. Otherwise, it would be just a queen rearing experience.
Just want to make sure I didn't take the bottom of that cell off when I did that. And I did not.
So Mike Hill asks a question. He says, in the early spring, can the queen outlay the worker's ability to cover and supply enough feed to do the workers kill, or do the workers kill the eggs? I was always under the impression that the queen would only lay as much as she had workers to cover it.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, you can answer. You can chime in. For sure.
The hive works as a unit. So I would say it depends on a few factors. So what is the weather like? Do they have enough resources coming in that they don't need that protein from those larvae or those eggs? Normally, they'll stimulate the queen to rear what they can cover, so not more than that.
Oh, I have to make an observation while I'm watching you. I noticed this jacket does not say flow on it.
Nope. I actually, interesting enough that you mentioned that. So Old McNally's Honey is working with a manufacturer to make those smokers.
Oh, nice. Is that a flow? That is a flow hive bottom though that you've got there. I think
A flow hive what?
the brood chamber that you're doing your graft in is a flow hive box.
That is one of the first boxes I ever had.
Looks like it's still holding up.
So you can see there's the 4 that I missed.
Right in a row there.
Right in all in a row, yep.
But you are that's still a good take though. I mean, what, 37 out of 41?
37 out of 41, yep.
Is that like 90%?
I don't know. You got a calculator handy?
I do have a calculator handy. How'd you know?
I've seen your office.
Yep, 90%. It's amazing how that brain sometimes will lock in on those numbers.
Our mating factor success so far this year has been pretty darn good too. Out of the ones that I've checked, we're sitting at about 92% return on the mated queens. So, which is typical. Just so that everybody knows, the dragonflies are not out yet up here.
They are here. So if we take 90% times 92%, that means 82% of your grafts, almost 83% of your grafts end up being mated queens.
Correct. Yeah, that'd be pretty close to what we had figured.
How about wood ticks, James? Are they out up there?
We don't get many ticks up here, Doug. So, I mean, I've spent my whole life in the bush up here. And the first tick I ever saw is when I went and visited Brad. So, I mean, the moose get them up here, for sure. We see that. The deer occasionally. But other than that, I have never seen a tick anywhere. I'm just going to put these guys back in the truck and plug them back in. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. So that's pretty...
I got 1 yard. They just about carried me out.
Really? Lots of wood ticks? I know we have them. I know we have them here. I have not seen any myself. So I guess I can count the blessing. That's one of the few pests we don't have down here. Or not that bad. Let's see. So you guys are just stacking supers right now there, Doug? Or have you already split or making splits? Or how are you guys handling things?
And we're just gonna start splitting, really.
Are you grafting your
like
own
I said,
queens?
we're a month behind.
Or are you bringing in mated queens? Or are you grafting?
Both.
Both.
So I'm just going to throw this back in there for tonight. And I'm going to drop my my cell bar back in there on Thursday night. And I'm going to let them fill or finish this other one. And the reason I'm doing that is the queen timing. I mean, we've gone through that lots. They make the queens on their schedule, not mine. But right. I know what their schedule is, and I am leaving town for 6 days on Saturday morning. So if I graft in there Friday night, I won't have to worry about those grafts until I get back. So I'm going to give them something to work on and draw out while I'm gone.
Sounds like a plan. He's coming to the US of A for a few days.
North Carolina again.
Let's see, small deer ticks, David Hughes says. So yeah, it's I mean, for us right now, it's kind of holding pattern for us down here. Just waiting a little bit longer to pull the rest of my honey off, and then it'll be a dearth that I need to put some feed out to make it to any kind of fall flow that we've got. Get them, get some appy tablets on them, and get them ready for winter. So, just gonna keep it rolling. Hey, Clay, good to see you.
You mean your cooler period, not winter, eh?
Yeah, our second summer, our cool summer. It's actually supposed to be quite cool over the next few days. For us anyway, we're gonna have a June cold spell. Today it only got to. I'll do this in C for you. It got to 24 C today, and it's getting down to 12 C for the next today and tomorrow, and then it's going to go down to 15 C. But it's going to be back at 30 C for the daytime. So it is getting a bit cooler. You know, less than 60 degrees here in June is kind of unheard of.
So can you see the 8-way nuke there, Bob?
Yes, sir.
So
let me make you big here.
So these are the little 8-way pallets that I use. I use the same pallet, and then I've got 8 of these. So there's 4 on the front, 4 on the back. I just opened that one up. So they had been locked in there for 3 days. So all that went in there were bees into drawn comb. So you can see how they come out, and they're orientating, you know, to that box really well right now. There is a queen cell in every one of these, and the queen that's in here should have hatched out yesterday.
So how long will you leave them without going in to check the queen at all?
So I will go in tomorrow just to ensure that the cell was hatched out, not disturbing as little as I can. If the cell's hatched out, perfect. I won't do anything. If the shell or the cup didn't hatch out, I will drop a new queen cup in there, probably from the ones that we just took out tonight, and then repeat the process. But after that, when I know she's hatched out, I won't go in there for 12 days.
I gotcha. Just let her get established, get mated, come back, and start laying things up a bit, eh?
Correct. I should see eggs in there in 12 to 15 days. And what I'll do is I'm going to kind of show you a little bit of the other things that I've got going on. I'm trying a couple different things here this year, you know, because why not? So I'm going to see if I can flip my camera around here. Wrong button. All right. So you can see what I'm doing here. The same pallet, but there's a plywood in between. So there is a queen here, and there's a queen here. A queen here, and a queen here. So now all of a sudden, on one pallet, I got 8 on this side, and I got 8 on this side. So there's 16 queens getting mated on one pallet.
Well, there's really, other than maybe possibly drift, there's really no reason you couldn't do that, right?
We're going to find out. So we're going to see where we're at. Here's some of my batteries that we've got out. So they're all, they've all got mated.
Are they
queens.
top rate full?
They are, yeah. So
when will you start setting supers on those?
Well, right now, I've got sales for another 120 nukes.
Okay.
So I will use these for my nukes. And there's 6 frames in there. So I will pull 5 frames out. I sell 5-frame nukes. So I'll pull 5 frames out. I will give them a boost. And I'll drop another queen in there. And when that queen comes out, that will be, I'll drop the honey boxes on after that.
Yeah, that'll be. You know, I wish I could get to that stage where I could be able to produce nukes like that and sell a bunch of. I mean, it financially it gives your business a nice monetary boost for the season, right?
Well, what it does is it produces our cash flow for the season. That's really what it does, right?
And then the honey carries you through the winter till the next year.
Correct.
Yeah, they're working at it. What do you guys have blooming over there right now, James?
Well, all the wildflowers are in bloom. The dandelions are probably on their second or third go.
And they all have brand new queens in them.
They all have brand new queens this year. Yeah. So yeah, we're sitting pretty good. The Timothy over here, just to give you an idea, the bees don't get much off of that, but it's all headed out. You know, so well, there's you can kind of see like we're pretty green here.
Yeah.
So
we're unusually green right now.
The dandelions, I mean, there's no shortage of them, which normally I'd be ticked off at that, but now that I'm a beekeeper, bring them on. Oh, here's a question for your viewers. Here, let me get this. Tell me what happened to this cup. So I'm going to turn it around here.
To me, that looks like there was a virgin that came back and stung through the side, and they chewed the dead corpse out.
That is exactly what happened. So you can tell the bottom has not been opened up. She did not chew her way out, but you can see they did. She stung through the side, and then they got rid of the corpse.
That's So you think it was just a rogue virgin from somewhere, or you didn't catch one in there? Or?
No, we actually had 2 cells, and I didn't have anything for it, so we just put 2 cells in there. What happened with this one?
That one's a hatch out.
That is a hatch out, so you can tell by the out of the end, right? It's hard to see that
that's
here.
The killer queen. That's the one that killed the other one, probably.
So different one. So we normally will put the cell on there so we know exactly where and what until we harvest that queen. So you can see they're on all of these, right? Let's get this glove off. I hate gloves. I'm just gonna set you down for 1 second.
Yep. Let me pull us back to the regular view here for a moment.
So this is a really good one.
Oh yeah, just a little trap door on the end.
Yeah.
A little blurry.
So.
All right, so I have to ask you, James. I've known you for what, 5 years now?
I don't know. Okay, I trust you. Let's say 5 years.
All right, so 5 years ago, James made the comment to me that he had a 5-year plan to retire beekeeping. And if you've been watching, you know that. So now I'm going to ask him. So what's the update on the retirement plan with beekeeping? Well,
so if you've been watching, there's a couple other things. So are the bees where we're at? We're pretty darn close. I had a devastating year last year. So that didn't help at all. But if you've also been watching, we got a couple things going on in my personal life that has kind of changed the retirement a little bit. And of course, the biggest one of that is my wife was diagnosed with cancer in December. So we're kind of dealing with that. So until we get that under control and we know what's going to happen, everything's going to stay kind of status quo. Otherwise, we would not be too far off, believe it or not, even with the devastating year last year.
Well, you seem to be resilient. You've been able to bounce back every year, even in the face of adversity, right? So,
Well, I'm Irish and I just won't quit.
well, I've noticed. I mean, I think it's hit a lot of us over the last several years. Constantly having to bounce back, and for me, it's and we lost him. But for me, the bounce back has been probably the biggest hurdle that I've had to motivate myself to overcome, right? Because sometimes you're like, man, is this even worth continuing going, right? Because every year you're just fighting the same battle and rebuilding. Doug, you're grinning a bit. Have you felt that before?
You're not a beekeeper unless you've had some losses.
Yeah, it's for me, it's not obviously not as bad as like James going from 300 down to 1, or Brad, what was it, like 200 down to 3 a couple years ago. It has been it is challenging, and do it once, great, but it seems like it's that over and over thing that happens to us, right?
Sorry, guys. I went to flip the camera around and hit the wrong button.
Oh, no worries. Jeff Thomas said, Bob asked James to show us inside of a mating nuke.
Inside of one of the little mating nukes?
Let's see if he, yeah, why not? I'm sure that's what he's talking about.
Okay, let me do that here.
And I was just talking, if you can hear us while you're walking, we're just talking about the adversity. And if there's anything that has made me want to quit, it's the constant rebuilding that has happened every year. And now I've kind of gotten it to the point where I just understand that every year it's going to be a rebuilding, right? To some degree, whether it's 5 hives, 10 hives, 15 hives, every year I have to rebuild some portion of my colonies.
Yeah, that would drive. That's called beekeeping, I think, Bob.
Yeah, that's what Doug was saying. You're not a beekeeper unless you've had to struggle with the loss a bit. So, at first, when you first start, it's I'm just going to put these bees in a box and it's going to be fun. I'm going to go out there and check them every so often and make all this money from honey, but it doesn't work that way.
Nope, it sure doesn't.
All right, let me make this big for him one more time.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
So I've got them here, but because I've dropped cells in these here yesterday, I don't want to open them up. And those ones, I know she just returned, so I'm going to use these here. So this is another pallet that I'm about to set up. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you a couple things that I do here. So I have made these pieces here. Here's a couple of the nukes that we've transferred over. So what these pieces do is they divide a standard pallet 4 ways. And they're small, so you can easily keep them all separated out. Oh, this is one of Brad's pallets, actually. So his entrance is just slightly smaller than mine, but you get the concept. So it'll divide them into 4. And you notice there's no entrance when all these pieces go on, so that there's no way that the bees can get out except through the disc on the door.
Right.
So then the boxes, Brad's got a really good video on his channel on how to make these. I think I've got one on mine too, but the boxes look pretty simple. When you open them up and take a look inside, there's 5 frames that'll go across here. Now, these frames, I will fill up. So this is 1 piece of foundation, medium foundation, cut in 3. So you end up with a little bit of a gap on both sides, and it's a little tough to find the queen until they actually build these out. Okay, but once they get these built out, then it's you can find the queen pretty easy. And these bars, because of the the box. So this is just a 1x4. So these are not 7/8, Bob. These are only 3/4 of an inch.
Okay.
And the bars, this portion is slightly smaller to allow 5 frames in there. So then you have the proper bee space in between all of the frames. And you can see here, here's one that's drawn out. So I've got some robbers in here. But you can kind of see it gives them the proper bee space. And they build this out really quickly. And here, this is all dandelion honey already. So we've pulled about 320 pounds of dandelion honey already this year.
That's that's pretty cool.
So, like I say, you can see they fill them all out just as normal. They treat it all as normal. You know, I do it this way. So you could put foundation all the way across, but why? When I can cut one piece of foundation and get 3 boards out of it instead of all the way across. If I put it all the way across, I get 2 and I'm left with a piece, and they never seem to match up very good. This way here, the bees just build it out and think nothing of it.
Yeah, that's pretty good, especially if you can somehow get them to populate. Are you just using a scoop of bees to populate them, or you put those over your big colony and let them come up and draw them out?
No, so 4 of these boxes fit perfect on top of a large colony. So I can put them on top of a colony, especially while there's a flow going on, and they'll come up and they will fill that with comb very, very quickly. Now, you can do it the same way. So you could put a scoop of bees in there and block them in, and they draw it all out, but you don't have to. We might as well open these ones up while we're here. We'll let those ones orientate on that side first. What do we got? We got one more here.
So you would just take a deep box and put 2 over the top of a deep?
4.
4 of those over one deep.
Yeah, 4 over a deep. Do I have a deep box here? I don't. But 4 of them fit perfectly over top of a deep.
And then just let them come up and start drawing that wax off, and then you can just pull them off. And heck, they already have bees in them, so if you close them in for a couple of days, they're going to stay wherever you put them. That's
exactly what we did here. So we pulled these off. Actually, we pulled these off of another apiary, and then brought them here. We still left them blocked in last night, so we're just opening them up now. And you can see they're orientating right to here. And they're full of bees. We dropped a queen cell in there last night. So that queen actually would have hatched out sometime today. In fact, we had a couple that were hatching out as we were dropping them. So dropping fresh virgins in there. But this is ready to go. So she'll bugger off. She'll do her mating flight, come back here, and away we go again.
So that's pretty cool. Look at them come right out.
And they're orientating right to the box.
And you just give them a few minutes to get oriented, and then you give them you open the one up next to it.
Correct.
So there's no drift.
These ones here, they already know where they're going. So we'll open up this blue one here, and we'll let them orientate. So now we got all 4 of them opened up just in the time that we were here talking.
Now, have you had any problem with those little cubes getting, plugged out with honey or anything like that?
If you leave them on the big boxes too long, yes, they'll plug them out really, really quickly. But if you manage it properly, and when I say properly right now, they'll on a big box, they'll come up and they'll fill this here in probably 4 or 5 days. They'll have the comb drawn out. But here's the other thing too. You see what's coming out of there and how many are in that box?
Yep.
So that's kind of key to make sure that you have the ample temperature in there. So all of these boxes, the queen actually came up and laid in them. So we actually have larva and brood in every one of these, which of course is a magnet, right?
Oh yeah.
So
because you put those over the big colonies, the queen actually did come up and lay brood in there.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then you just got to make sure. Do you shake? You got to shake them back down then, right, to make sure the queen's not in there.
I just pull them to make sure the queen's not there. Then I'll take a look at the bottom box to make sure that I find the queen. And if I can't find the queen, then I go through every one of these boxes until I find her, and then I'll put her back down in the hive.
I gotcha.
James, do you overwinter them?
I haven't been successful in overwintering them yet, but you know, gotta love the hive lifter. But as you can see, we got a bunch of these here that are on triples already. So
that's yeah, that's pretty cool. I wish that would be something that I could do down here. I'm sure I could do some fashion of that down here. It's just a matter of getting the timing right. It seems like everybody here either produces honey or they make bees. Very few of them do both.
well, what
James,
I found is, go ahead.
Are those mediums?
These are medium, yeah.
Yeah. Mine are all deeps.
But basically, it's the same size as the styrofoam one, right?
It's the same size as a medium box. Just think of it in 4. So because like here, you got 3/4 of an inch and 3/4 of an inch here. So you still end up with 5 frames and 5 frames, but that's only because these frames are narrower.
Now, are you cutting down those frames or do you make them specifically for that?
I make them specifically for this. And that's actually, I came, well, like all things I usually do, I wanted to make it repeatable. So I actually made that jig to repeat that quite easy.
And those have been locked in there 24 hours or 48 hours?
Probably 24 hours now.
And they were split from the, no, you said a different yard, not from the same yard.
Yeah, correct. That's why they're all orientating here. I'll stand back so you can kind of see the orientation flights going on. As you know, Bob, I'm a huge fan of large bee numbers, right?
Oh yeah. I learned the lesson the hard way. James had to come all the way from Grand Prairie to Columbia, South Carolina to show me how to make a proper split with enough bees. But you know what? The lesson, it's just I was listening to the wrong people, what I was doing. So
I don't know if you'd say listening to the wrong people. What works for me doesn't necessarily work for you, and vice versa. But the other thing I'm going to throw out there, I got to plug in here because my battery's going dead, is there's a lot of information out there on YouTube. Not all of it is good. Okay. I will admit, a couple of my videos when I was first starting out, I look back at it now.
Spin your camera around, James. There you go.
That?
We were looking at your steer wheel.
Yeah, I just had to get flipped around. But some of my first videos I put out there, I left them out there, and they're still on the channel because you can learn from them. You know, and I think if you read the comments, there's a disclaimer now. I've learned better, and here's a better way to do this. But yeah, what works for me doesn't necessarily work for Doug or you know, somebody in Western or Eastern Canada. Not that you're in Eastern Canada, Doug. Don't shoot me for that. But to the east of me, maybe that's a better way to put it. So you have to be able to read the bees. That's really kind of the trick is read the bees, understand what they're telling you, and where to go from there.
Well, it's, you know, and one thing, I mean, obviously, if people are listening to the podcast for the first time, or this is their first episode, they don't know that, you know, we have people in here from all over the United States and all over Canada, different areas in Canada, right? And most of us people down here in the United States are not geographically inclined when it comes to Canada and how everything's situated and located. And, oh, you're in Canada, great. We think that Alberta's like a state, or Saskatchewan or Manitoba. But then when you look at the map and you see exactly how big, yes, it touches the United States, but it also touches the Antarctic, right? So it's huge.
The Arctic, not the Antarctic. The Arctic.
The Arctic, yeah. So, but you get what I mean. And then you say, oh, well, you're in Canada. Can't you just drive over to Brad's place? Yeah, in 20 hours I can be there. So it's kind of one of those things. We just don't know how geographically different it is.
I get a kick out of you guys all the time when it's like, I can't drive there. That's 3 hours away.
Yeah, well, that's me. I'm notorious for that. Not wanting to drive a long distance. But with that, though, I have been able to glean knowledge from you guys and things that you do that have helped me in my operation as well here. Stuff like, oh, when I harvest the honey, I immediately start feeding them. Well, why? Because I've robbed them of everything they've worked all summer to produce, right? So now I have to give them back.
Yeah, that and the fact that it's probably going to snow in a week's time.
Not here.
Well, no, but up here.
So, but that has helped out, and it's things that, for example, I don't know if people remember, but in November and December, I was feeding pollen patty to my bees, and people were like, "Why are you feeding them pollen patty in November?" Because in 3 weeks' time, it's going to be December, and guess what? In January, I want these bees starting to get going, right? So the only way I can do that is to artificially stimulate them by giving them patty, and so I would. But if you ask anybody else around here, they're not doing that type of thing. Right. So it's a little bit of a different mindset, and being willing to, and Lord knows I'm willing to take a gamble on some stuff. I've done it more than out of 7 years. I still haven't learned my lesson on splitting too early, right? And then
or too small.
Or too small. Well, I'm doing better with that now. Believe it or not,
I watched some of your videos, and it's like, Bob, give him more
the original ones.
Bob, give him more than 2 frames.
You know what I'm doing now? I'm basically making a queenless nuke. 3 brood, 2 food. And lock them up, and that's them. And let them. If I can get queens, I let them go ahead and make their cells. I wait about a week, and then I go back and knock everything down and give them a brand new queen, because they are perfectly homeless at that time, right? Queenless. And that, believe it or not, I know people are going to say, you shouldn't do that. And you're right. I probably shouldn't. But when you give a queen bee and all those bees come up and they start loving on her, and you can tell that they're loving on her, I put her in there for 24 hours. I came back the next day after I moved them, took out a frame of brood, popped the cork, let her walk out onto the brood frame, bees loving on her, put her in, went back a few days later, and lo and behold, there's eggs in there now, so,
yep.
So it just changed their whole demeanor, as compared to, you can tell very quickly when you put one in and they're not really fussing with her too much. And I was like, well, wow, there's not really any bees hanging from that cage. Let me check on her, pull her out. Oh, guess what? When I made that split, the queen accidentally got in there. So they aren't interested in this new queen. So I took that queen and put her in the colony that I just made all the splits out of, because now I know where that queen came from, right? And that hive was queenless. So now they're happy. They got a brand new queen. So it worked out. So it's just making observations as you do it, right? And
exactly, yep.
and game time decisions. A lot of times I have these big plans. Oh, I'm going to make these splits and I'm going to do this and I'm going to wait this many days and I'm going to go out and do this. And then I'm go out the next day. I'm like, oh yeah, they're ready for it. Plop. You know, sometimes it backfires though, but it's been good so far. Google says Canada is bigger by about 10 million square kilometers than the United States.
Oh, is that all? So here's a I was just sitting here counting as you were talking, Bob.
Yep.
Here's I'm gonna flip my camera back around again.
Yep.
So right down that row, there is 39 mated queens. There's 16 red up front.
Yep.
Oop, out to go, girls. And then 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, and 2.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
So now you got to go back and harvest all them and put them in cages.
No, actually what I'll do is I'll go through here and I'm going to pull, there's 6 frames in there. I will pull 5 frames out. I will make a nuke. And then I will drop 2 more frames of bees, preferably and cap brood in there. And then I will drop another queen cell in there and go all over again.
And that's how you've been able to expand your numbers so quickly.
Correct.
Now, that's a lot of infrastructure, though.
It's taken me a few years to get here. Yep.
But with the, it is very possible with the, I mean, even queens, right? I mean, I made the example, I think it was last Tuesday, that if you want to graft queens and you've got 25 hives and you graft 5 queens and you can get them mated and come back, you've just increased your whole yard by 25%.
Exactly. Yep.
So, if you did that every year, then, you know, over a couple years, you've doubled your size. If you want to do it slowly, you know.
Yep.
For me right now, believe it or not, I've just about used all of my equipment, on my deep boxes and everything because of my splits, and which is unusual because now I'm in the mode to where, oh, now some of these old boxes that I've had to burn and that warped and were damaged and stuff, I'm like, man, now I got to look at buying more boxes and more frames and more stuff, and
yep,
you know, everything just keeps going.
Hey Bob, do you know what the big difference is?
Well, James,
they're not all in your yard this year.
Exactly.
That is also true. That's something that James made note when he came last time. Bob, I really think, and he said it the first time and I ignored it. And the second time he said, yeah, I really think you just have too many bees for your 1 yard. And so now I've got 12 in 1 yard, 4 in the other yard. Still, the majority of my bees are here. But I could very easily take some hive stands out to my out yard in Lexington, and next thing, the 12 there, 12 here, and still would have the majority here. But, you know, could definitely expand.
Well, and your honey, I will bet, you know, I'll bet you a, where did we go for supper? Where was that chicken place? Anyways, I'll bet you supper there that your honey crop will be bigger with your bees in multiple locations than it was with them all at the house.
Yeah,
even with fewer hives.
So last year, last year I had 50%. Was it 50%? Yeah, 50% less colonies, but only 20% less honey. So I had a higher yield per colony.
I mean, you got to look at other factors: moisture, flow, foliage. But that just goes to kind of solidify. You probably can take out 20% more of your bees and still have the same amount of honey come in there.
Yeah. So, yeah, this year, I don't know that I'll make as much as I did last year. I'm hoping to. I've already harvested 410 pounds. And there's plenty out there to pull. Don't get me wrong. But the splits, because I'm taking 2 frames per split of honey and giving it to the splits to make sure that they're not in a bad way, that that I am kind of limiting some of the honey harvest that way. But then I'll tell you what, a split that I made that was queenless for over a week, and I made a strong split and then moved them after a week into a 10 frame box. They have flat plugged that thing up with honey. So now I'm looking at having to pull honey to give them frames so the queen can lay back in them. So it's
Yeah, that's going to be our problem this year is honey boxes. So I can see us very quickly having to exchange boxes, spin the honey, and then off to the next apiary and exchange boxes and spin honey. Not where we want to be, but if you've also followed the channel, we started this this company on a budget, and we're holding true to that. So we are holding true to the initial input cost, and we're making a go of it. So, you know, I'm sure there will be a order. I'll be heading over to Manitoba and getting I think we figured out we're probably going to need about 600 boxes. So there'll be an order coming.
Well, order me about 500 and put them on your credit. Yeah, so it's definitely a thing, and I'm at 46 colonies now, DC. I think I saw that 46 right now, which is more than I've had in 2 years. So I'm getting back up. Last year I didn't really go. It's going to sound kind of counterproductive, but I didn't really look to expand at all last year. My goal was to grow my honey crop with less colonies and, you know, move them to out yards and stuff like that and make some moves that way. And then this year, because I secured a supplier for honey that I don't have to worry as much about my crop, I went more into expansion mode this year, to try to get back right and get genetics where I want them, and try to eliminate some of the mean hives that I have and stuff like that. So I still have a few mean hives. I'm trying to work around that, work with it. Baby steps, right? I can only get so many queens at a time. And Doug, thank you again for donating a queen to me. And it is in a hive right now, working away. So I was unsuccessful marking it with a Canadian flag on it, though. I tried.
We'll
Doug
have to find
sent me a message.
Some Canadian flag dots for so you can glue on there.
Yeah, send me one. If you send me one, I'll put it right on there.
Here.
Oh, yeah. Doug donated me a queen. I said I thanked him in Facebook, and he said just make sure you mark it with a Canadian flag. And I was unsuccessful. It was too small. I couldn't print it. Oh, Doug, we dropped Doug. He said he was having internet problems. Let me see.
James,
did we lose everybody?
You're in the lumber industry, right? Is that what you do? You go to lumber mills?
James works for a paper company, right?
Yeah. Do you ever go to like Maine or any of those places?
He works for International Paper. So if they're located up there, I don't know. I know he's going to Wilmington, North Carolina this week. So who knows? I might see James down here, or he's kind of like halfway in between me and Charlie. You never know where old James is going to pop up.
Hopefully you won't be in the house sleeping.
Hey, Norman, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Norman.
You're muted. He'll get it figured out in a second, guys. How do you know when a hive is strong to split? Oh, he's asking. Norman popped out too. So did James. Did all of Canada's internet go down, or did mine go down? I still got you, Mike. So
Yeah, well, I'm not in Canada.
might be a Canadian internet outage. So I'm showing. Let me see.
Maybe they're using too many carbon credits.
Too many. Their carbon tax hit and turned their internet off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I tried to get James to send me some AI queens, and I don't think they can send from down here. Now I think we can hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, Norman.
I am not good at StreamYard.
No, it's all good, man. Hey, just because I also upload this as a podcast to Spotify and iHeartRadio and Amazon, why don't you introduce yourself for the podcast and people that may not know who you are on here? A little bit about your operation, where you're located, and your high watermark for the most amount of colonies that you've kept in a season.
Oh boy. Norman McBilly. I'm on Vancouver Island, and I'm relatively new to beekeeping, but I just jumped in with both feet. And right now I got about 3 yards going, and I think I got. It's really in flux, but it's around 50.
Around 50. Yeah, so you and I are right around the same size, same number of yards, 3 yards. But your honey yield, do you get the typical 200 pounds a colony like the other Canadian beekeepers that we talk to? What's your yield?
No, we get a lot less honey out here. It's like if I get 100 pounds for like a mature colony, I think that would probably be good. But again, I'm also, I'm kind of leaning towards like making more bees and drawing out frames and all at this point in my career, because like I've only been at this a real short amount of time, right? So like I'm just focused on expansion.
So you did.
I can pull 100 pounds out of a colony for sure, but it's not like I'm parking my bees up against like farm fields or anything like that. Like where I'm at, it's basically I'm kind of in the middle of I'm not in the middle, like I'm kind of the bottom third of the island and a little bit of the ways in, so it's a real forestry area, right? So it's a lot of like wild berries and wild plant, like just all the wild stuff, like fireweed's a big thing.
Sounds like your forage is a lot like mine. It could be weeds or wild trees, some trees, whatever just happens to be growing in the area is what you get your honey from.
Yeah. Like my main flow is like just about to start, which is what you like your guys' normal blackberries,
right? Which
are an invasive species up here, and they're just starting to go, and that's going to be good for us for another month, like for sure.
That's kind of where we're at down here. Is I've got about a month left. I usually harvest my honey last week in June to first week in July. I try to have it all off by July 4th weekend if I can. But this year I've done a few things during the flow that I normally don't do. So it's going to definitely affect my honey crop, because I've made several splits and I've used some of that honey in the splits to give them what they need to get going. And, so I'm expecting that to affect it. But with that being said, the splits that I've made have done pretty good. About like if I make a full split, 3 brood and 2 food, like a nuke, and then give them a week and put them in a 10 frame deep, they seem to have no problem just plugging that thing right on up right now. So just doing what we can to make as much honey as we can. I would like to get more into the making of nukes for the spring sale type of thing, but at this point we're just trying to grow the numbers. as many.
Along those lines, I got a question for you. I saw you were looking, like, the reason I came up is because you guys, like, well, you have those little boxes that you're using, and you were starting to talk about, like, you would put 4 of them on top of a a deep or whatever, and you would
That
draw
was
them out to
James.
make your,
James was doing that. Yeah.
My question for you guys was, how long can you lock up like a tiny box of bees? Like, you got, you have like, you got a queen in there that, maybe she's still in a cell or she's about to come out. You got a handful of bees in there. How long can you lock that down?
I think James said that he
Depends on the weather too.
Yeah,
If
so
it's-
I believe James was saying that the ones that he opened up to let out for the first time tonight, he put them in yesterday, right? So they've been sequestered for 24 hours for him. Now he's using smaller boxes, and those just have queen cells in it. So as soon as they come back and get mated, I believe he said that he was putting those into 6-frame boxes, and with a couple frames of brood to let them start like a nuke, right? And then he runs, what was it, 3 nukes with the deeps on top of them while they're getting
3
battle
6
range.
3 6
And
frames.
he does like 2 boxes on top, like kind of like how Ian Stepler does. Probably.
Yeah, exactly. Battery. And then he said that those that he had sitting out there, he's actually had an order for, I think he said 120 nukes, that he's going to take those queens that are laying in there and move them to 5-frame colonies as nukes to sell for those. But
well,
yeah.
the reason I ask is, like, I'm still suffering with these those little styrofoam little mini nukes, right? And I'm just trying to get these gosh darn things going. And like, there's a couple that they've drawn out, and there's like some that want to live, but it's like I sequestered them for 24 hours, and then and then I let them go, and then it's like later on today I just kind of had a look to see what was happening, and it was like some of them, like the queen's in there, and there's no bees, and then other ones there's tons of bees and no queen, and other ones, like, they're all gone. Like, it's just are you
think you're getting drift?
How are you getting the bees to fill them?
Well, what I was doing was basically I take a colony and shake all the bees down, put a queen excluder on it, and then I'd put some larvae up top, and then draw the bees up, and then I'd shake the larva frames for nurse bees.
I wonder if you would be better served if you took a pro nuke around without the lid on it, shook the frames of bees into the pro nuke, right? All of the forager bees, the old bees, will fly off, and then just take a scoop and scoop bees into them, nurse bees into them that can't fly, and populate them that way. And that way, they're not going to leave for a couple weeks, right? Until could be up to 2 weeks. But Morris Homestead said, are you putting QMP strips inside the mini?
No. But that was kind of back of my mind today. It's like I might have to do something aggressive like that just to get them to draw it.
Well, the other thing James said is he puts those 4-ways on top of the colony to let them come up, and the queen will come in there and lay, so they have some brood in there to help hold those bees in there. And then when he pulls them off, he makes sure the queen's not in there, where it's got a little bit of brood and some bees that are covering that brood, and then he can put a cell in there when he sequesters them.
You know exactly what you're saying there. I'm almost to the point where I want to, like, steal one of my, like, decent queens, and just, like, these things, they come like stackable too, right? So I could make a tower of like the second stories of them, right? And just like put a bunch of bees in there, lock them in, give them a good queen, and just let her lay it out. See what happens. And she'll probably die too, and the bees will bug her up. But just try it.
It'd be my luck. Well, I don't know, because my luck is I go to make splits and I always end up getting the queen that I didn't see in one of my splits, right? And then I add a new queen and they don't want nothing to do with her. And I go back and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And I pull out the queen, she's alive in the cage and they really haven't messed with trying to get her out. So I go through it. Oh, well, maybe it's because this queen from their mother colony is in here laying it up, right? That happened the other day. So I ended up taking that queen out of that one and giving it to the colony that I stole the queen from accidentally. And, we'll see.
Yeah, it happened. Like, I remember at one point, this was last year, I remember, it's like going, like the hive's just real upset up front. So I'm like, okay, like it's just loud. And I go, what's going on here? So you crack it open. And it's just roar, roar, roar. And then I pull out the first frame. There's a big bulge on it. It's like they're balling a queen. I'm like, oh, weird. Okay, so like, I kind of put it down, run to the house, grab a queen clip, get the queen, and say, okay, well, I got this queen. And it's like, you're still pissed off. And then I go, and it's like the other side. There was another queen. There was 2 queens in that hive. And that was the problem. So I was like, Jeff, oh, okay, well, you can stay. And I took this one away and put her in another hive. And then
Jeff Thomas says, Norman, close them all up and store them in a cool area for 2 days and then bring them back out.
Yeah, that was thank you, Jeff. Yeah, you're bringing me back to my point. Like, can I leave them longer than 24 hours? Can I lock them up for longer than that?
Well, Brad does. Brad makes a split. He carries them in his honey house, leaves them for 2 nights. So, like, if he made it today during the daylight, he would leave them closed tonight and tomorrow night. And the 3rd day, he would bring them back out. Or actually, it's two full days, right? And then he brings them back out, and then he opens them up when he gets them out wherever he's going to put them. I did the same thing in my yard. I didn't bring them inside. I took some pro nukes, made 3 nukes, closed them all the way up, moved them in the yard, same yard, not far from where the mother colony was. And they were locked up last night, and they're locked up tonight. And tomorrow morning, I'll go out and open them up, and hopefully nobody flies home. We'll see how that goes, but they should be pretty used to their new home by now. And hopefully that keeps them going.
Well, yeah. I guess me trying to a few more days. It's like, well, why not? It's like I'm burning through these queen cells anyways. Like I'm not getting it's frustrating. Yeah, it was like 40 queen cells, and it's like, what am I getting out of it by the time I'm done?
I always worried about like if I was buying queens before this year, the last 6 years I've done this, and I've always, like, if I ordered queens and I knew I was getting queens on Thursday, I would go out on Wednesday and I would make all my nukes, right? And then I would add the queen when I got them on Thursday. And now I'm figuring out, well, if you make the split, a nice split, I've left them out there for a week. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? They're going to make some queen cells, and then you go and knock those down. There's nothing left for them to be able to then create queens with, right? So now they're hopelessly queenless at that point. And then I can add a queen, and they usually buddy right up to her.
But that's a different animal. Like, you're talking about nukes at this point, right?
Yeah, nukes. Yeah. But I mean, I'm still having to re-queen them, right? I'm still giving them a queen.
But yeah, you set up a nuke, and it's like they just stay there. Hello, Brad.
Sometimes mine like to fly back home, right? The foragers. So I'm definitely using Brad's method of keeping them in for 2 nights now to see if that helps out with. And I didn't put them inside, Brad. So this will be an experiment to see if they have to come inside, or put them in the same yard and still opening them up after 2 nights will be fine.
They don't have to be inside, and that's because. And I know that because if it's a day of rain, it's the same thing.
Matter of fact,
if you want to move a hive in your apiary and you get a day of rain, then move them maybe very early the next morning before anybody flies, and they'll be fine. I'll guarantee it.
So Norman's having an issue with keeping his mating nukes populated with bees. Once he's made the I don't know if it's called a split. Once he populates it with bees,
You've got a lot of company in that problem.
Yeah.
So,
do you have QMP sticks?
No,
That helps.
I'm
We use
thinking.
QMP sticks. That really helps.
Yeah.
Is there brood in them?
Nope.
Yep.
No, I'm starting with just just cut like wax, little bits of wax frame.
Is
it's
that
like
these little styrofoam ones?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I have no experience with those at all, so that's all I can help you with. Try some QMP sticks. That'll help.
or well, with the styrofoam ones, you really don't have the opportunity to do, like, at least not the initial time, right? Like James puts those mini boxes that he gave you credit for them, by the way, the design of them.
And that's why I asked, because if you got something like that, then you can set those on a colony and get some brood in them.
And
I think that's where it's going, right, Bob?
For him.
Another thing I was thinking of doing, like all those, I got a billion of those plastic.
Hey, MJ.
What's
MJ,
up, everybody?
buddy.
I was just in the studio dancing, waiting for Bob to recognize I was there.
I saw it, and then you got up.
So I was thinking of making like a specialty box so that I could, maybe put all those little plastic, the styrofoam nuke, kind of pre-frames into a bigger box that I could put into a proper hive, and then the queen could, they could go up and like, draw it out and lay it up and all that. That might be the right thing to do instead of screwing around.
That can work.
Roy asked Big Mike, how strong do you make a new 4/4 when adding a cell?
It's just a single 4.
A single 4?
Yeah, just, some brood and bees and some feed frames. But most of mine I'm trying to do in my mating nukes now. When I'm using queen cells, I just put the frame with the queen cell and some bees in the feed and the double nukes, and then as soon as she starts laying, I start adding boxes.
All right, MJ.
Yes.
So in case you haven't heard the latest update, these
so I am Mike from MJ Farms. I am up in New Jersey, northern New Jersey over here. All my queens is Italian because that's what we do. The whole
Get out of here.
The whole state is basically the shore. I'm not sure how gelled my hair is, but gelled enough to be bulletproof. Same with my bees. I gelled my hair so much it fell out.
Evidently, you've heard that these are going to be available for listening on podcast after the streams. So good. Good to see you again. How's things going in your neck of the woods?
I caught another swarm today. I was mucking out the goats, and I look in the tree, and I go, "That's a weird tree cancer." And I go, "Sort of looks like a swarm." Let me walk a little closer. Yep.
I've been so fortunate this year that I haven't had any, knock on wood, this so far.
No, you want them because then you get an extendable flagpole that has 5-foot sections and you get up to 30 feet.
Yeah, I've got that. And have you seen Southern Pines? Mine always go to the very top. So I could be on a 12-foot ladder.
Like 300. They're like 300 feet high or something.
I could be on a 12-foot ladder with a 30-foot pole and a bucket, and it might reach the bottom of it. So I want to keep that down as much as possible, and I've been successful this year with that. Typically, though, if I have a swarm, it's because of my poor management in the spring that I don't get them in the spring, where I make splits too early, which really knocks my colonies back, so I don't have to worry about them swarming at that point. It's when they get stronger and I harvest the honey and then I shake the bees back down into a smaller colony that I have issues. So this year I'm trying to avoid that by making summer splits to alleviate the population. So when I do shake them back down, they're not overcrowded, and hopefully I can avoid the late season swarms that I've been known to get in the past. So
Yeah, I made splits in April, and then I had a bunch of I had like a lot of resources, all drawn comb and honeycomb. That's how I have the 5-stacker right there. Where is it? And a few other like 5 stacks or 4 stacks, and they still swarmed. When your bees are good and healthy, they will fly up and make more bees.
I have learned something valuable this year. I had a lot of wax moth damage on my comb, and I started the season and started pressure washing frames and re-waxing them and doing all that stuff and trying to clean up comb. And then it got to the point to where I was making splits and I didn't have time to do that. So I just started giving them the old damaged comb back. And guess what? Strong Colonies will actually clean and repair that for you free of charge. And it's less nasty. So if you have that ability, they will do that for you.
So I was scrolling Facebook the other day, and one of the friendly beekeeper pages or whatever like that, this guy got a walk-in cooler, just for frame storage.
Yeah, money will accomplish a lot of stuff for a beekeeper.
Right?
Have you looked and seen how much those things cost?
Nope, don't care because I can't afford it.
I think I've seen a used one for about $10,000 on Facebook down here.
You can get like a box truck reefer unit.
Okay.
Get like off a box truck, just the box part, right?
Yeah.
And those are great because you can turn that sucker down and freeze comb, freeze the wax moths, and all kinds of stuff. That's a really nice unit to have. I don't have one. There's one down the road for sale though, but I don't know how much he wants. I'm afraid to stop and ask.
Well, I could honestly
I look at it every time I drive by.
Do you?
Hey,
You
it's
should
still
stop.
there.
Be like, hey, I noticed that's there for a while. What are you looking for it?
Well, all you have to do is leave your boxes outside and they'll freeze properly.
Well, I just need to get to November and I'm golden.
Yep.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
Ain't nothing surviving after that.
Now, yeah, nothing survives outside where you are, including people.
The with the way that this season has gone, I was optimistic. I guess hopeful would be a better word than optimistic, right? I find I'm always trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit every year when I'm keeping bees. It's like, oh crap, this is bad. Oh, what can we do to improve this, right? And every year it's been like that, and it is actually I think doing better than I could hope for. Better than I had anticipated it would, I guess. Having a decent honey crop so far and being able to, I didn't have a set goal that I was going to get to. Oh, I want to get to 50 colonies or anything like that, right? It was just have strong colonies and be able to make some splits and show some growth. And so far those things have happened.
Well, yeah, you got a direction, which is the important thing. It's like I'm kind of the same thing. Like my goal this year was by the end of the year, I'm going to have 125, hives. I will not have 125. I won't have anywhere near that. But that's the direction I'm going.
Yeah, that's kind of, I found when I put a number on it, right? Like if I said I'm going to get to 100 colonies, then I find that I start doing things that are not conducive to actually getting to that 100 colonies. And if I can try to make that make sense to people that are listening, is if I have a goal to get to 100 colonies and I start making 1 and 2 frame splits in order to get to 100 colonies, I may hit 100 colonies, but I won't have them in the spring because they're going to be too weak, right? So I'm actually wasting resources and time trying to hit a number instead of doing a nice strategic growth that I know that I can get and make nice colonies with. Does that make sense? That I'm actually working against myself?
I'm trying something. I'm kind of mixing the two. So like I have like solid splits underneath, and it's like so like in a box, I got 2 hives. in a deep, right? So it's like one on the left, one on the right, and then that's kind of cordoned off. And then above that, I'm trying to do two frame splits as
Like
well. So I get the heat from down below is going to heat up there, and I'm trying to see if that works. So I could do some real janky splits.
I'll tell you,
some established types.
It's a 6-frame poly nuke, and it was doubled up. So I had 12 frames, and then I put a 5-frame deep nuke on top of that. And I went back, and next thing you know, I've got 3 boxes that all have brood in them, right? So what I ended up doing is I broke that down. I took 1 split and made a new colony with it. That's one of the sequestered ones. I took the 12 frames and made them into a 10-frame, but then I immediately added another 10-frame super on it, so they had room to come up and work, right? So hopefully I might be able to pull one more split off of that and keep them strong enough for the winter. So
we're not even near solstice yet.
For you got tons of time. What happens to me though is I get
longer, man.
So what you've got a condensed period to where you come out of winter and game on until game is over, right? What I get is game on, honey flow. Oh, now we got nothing. There's no nectar coming in. It's a dearth period of a month or two where I'm having to feed them. And in that, if I'm not feeding them during that part, they're actually weakening until the fall.
You got to renew your Costco membership. That's all.
What'd you say, Big Mike?
And then you got to feed them.
Yeah, I got to feed them. That's what's got to happen. So, and you got to have money for those things. And I'm just a poor farmer now.
Sugar's cheap enough.
Yeah, it is when you're feeding 5 colonies. When you're feeding 50 colonies, it gets a little bit more expensive. And when you're feeding as many as Brad does, it's really
$5,000 or $500 of sugar into 5,000.
Brad shows up to Costco and says, "I'll take that pallet right there."
those 3 pallets right there.
Those 3 pallets. You got any more up in the rafters I can get down to load up? Yeah, that's the thing is for me right now, it's balancing costs, right?
Yeah, I was being a cheap guy recently. There's a bunch of wineries around here. I know a few of the owners. Anyways, one particular one, it's like, yeah, I'm in there and he's like got all this sugar up in the rafters. What's up with that? He's like, oh yeah, it's I'm like, oh, I'll buy that off you. He's like, oh, it's not good for anything. Oh, it's good for something.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put water on it.
Big old bricks of sugar. It's like, oh, I'll buy that. Oh yeah, that's hardly any good.
Hot water.
I'll pay you 25 cents on the dollar for that. Yeah. Oh, I'll take that.
Yeah, because for him it was worth nothing, right? At that point.
Well, yeah, it's a trip to the dump. Then he's got to pay for it to go away. And for me, it's
Yeah, you bring your forklift and get it down and put it in the back of my truck, and I'll carry it home.
Bring it over, and
for sure. Hey, Ian, good to see you. So, at any rate, guys, we've been going 2 hours and 13 minutes. We still have 47 people actively watching. I appreciate it if you give the thumbs up. This stream will be available on your favorite streaming services shortly after this broadcast, hopefully. So with that, I will say good night to everyone and thank you for watching. And thank you for everybody for participating. And we will see you again next week. Thanks, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night, everybody.